Tampa Bay Buccaneers from the 48-yard line. Second down, 13. Brady lobs one downfield. Caught ball by Gronkowski inside the 20 to the 15-10. Gronkowski to the 5 to the 4-yard line. Holy guacamole.
Third down, 18. Dropping Gannon, looking Gannon. Those up the middle. It's intercepted at the 30. Derek Brooks 30. Brooks to the 25, 20. Derek Brooks all the way. There it is. The dagger's in. We're going to win the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, baby!
This is the Big Nasty. Yeah, Big Nasty, Hall of Fame Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, baby.
This is Mike Allstott, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you're listening to the Cannon Fire Podcast.
Cannon Fire Podcast, brother. You ain't listening.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers from the 48-yard line. Second down, 13. Brady lobs one downfield. Caught ball by Gronkowski inside the 20 to the 15-10. Gronkowski to the 5 to the 4-yard line. Holy guacamole.
Third down, 18. Dropping Gannon, looking Gannon. Those up the middle. It's intercepted at the 30. Derek Brooks 30. Brooks to the 25, 20. Derek Brooks all the way. There it is. The dagger's in. We're going to win the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, baby!
This is the Big Nasty. Yeah, Big Nasty, Hall of Fame Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, baby.
This is Mike Allstott, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you're listening to the Cannon Fire Podcast.
Cannon Fire Podcast, brother. You ain't listening, and you're missing out. Woo!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Cannon Fire Podcast. We are live today for episode 149. If you're over on our YouTube channel, we're going to be taking your calls over the next hour or so as we preview this Sunday's matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs. So welcome to the show if you guys are joining us over on our YouTube channel, as I had just mentioned. Let's get these introductions out of the way. I am pumped up to talk about the game this weekend. Actually, first and foremost, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I really hope you were able to stuff your face with some damn good food today. Hope everybody had a nice, safe holiday, and you ate well. That's really what's important. But welcome back to the show. I'm your host, as always, Rhett Matthew, joined alongside me, my good buddy and co-host, the Philly Bucs fan himself, Mr. Evan Wanish. Happy birthday to you, my friend. How are you?
Pretty good. If you could rate your Thanksgiving meal 1 to 10, well, what would you give it?
Oh, dude, I got to give 10 on both, and that's the beauty of it, is because I had 2 of them. We had gone to my mom's house for, she did hers around lunchtime, so that worked out pretty well, and then we went over to my girlfriend's mom's house for dinner. So the 2 plates that I had today, my stomach could only handle 2. Oh, but they were so damn good. So, folks, it is our Cannon Fire Hotline show. We wanted to mix it up and just do kind of a fun, loose show for the, for the holiday. So 813-433-0323 is the number to call. We're going to be taking your calls over the next hour or so, talking everything Tampa Bay Buccaneers and your concerns, your questions, comments on this Buccaneers team as they head into this matchup with the Chiefs. But really quickly, I want to just remind everybody that this podcast is brought to you by our friends over at betonline.ag. From game spreads and totals to team, player, and coaching props, BetOnline gives you more options to wager than any other place online. And of course, they've always got the online casino, which never, ever closes. So make sure you head over to betonline.ag today. Take advantage of all the great sign-up bonuses. BetOnline, your online sportsbook expert. I'll tell you, if you bet anything on the pair of games that we had today, I hope it was the over, because I think Washington came back and just right at the last minute, dude, it was touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. You talk about turkeys getting smoked today. Dallas got smoked pretty harsh as well. That was pretty interesting to watch.
The entire game turned on that fake punt by Dallas. So I mean that was the deciding factor. Dallas was pretty much in that game until then, because I mean the very next play, Washington scores a touchdown. So
yeah, no doubt. So there is one bit of news floating around the Buck realm this week that I kind of wanted to talk about, and it's something that I think you and I can both agree has been blown way the hell out of proportion, but we're going to talk about it here anyways because I wanted to throw my 2 cents on the matter. There's a quote that's floating around, and it is being attributed to tension between Tom Brady and Bruce Arians. There's been a lot more outlets picking this story up, and they're running with the narrative that something's going on between Tom and Bruce, and it's, aside from Bruce throwing Brady under the bus every single week, it's just this underlying unspoken tension, which between you and me, I don't really believe for a damn bit. But let's take a look into this quote. So this comes from the New York Post, and this is, the most, I guess, popular quote that I had seen out there when it comes to this situation. But following Monday's primetime loss to the LA Rams that dropped the Bucs to 7-4, Bruce Arians spoke of the lack of continuity within the offense in 2020. We've got Tom calling a lot of his own plays or picking his own on the sideline from the game plan. I don't think it's a confidence problem whatsoever. It's not a lack of trust. It's lack of continuity within the offense of the whole picture. So, excuse my dog barking in the background. She probably just heard a leaf crunch outside and she has to say hello. But what is your take on this? I don't really think that what Bruce said here is worthy of saying that he's throwing Tom under the bus. I mean, when he was asked about those interceptions, he had said, "Why don't you go ahead and ask Tom?" Which is fair. Those interceptions were kind of on Tom in that game, but I don't know. What do you make of this whole damn situation, dude?
I think the media is a little bored, maybe. I just don't see where you can get the story that they're already button heads. I understand where people are coming from to where it does seem like. So here's my thing. So right around after the Bears game, it seemed like, well, honestly, I think at halftime of the Chargers game, it seemed like the offense was really going in the Brady has more influence direction, right? It seemed like it was more of a New England type offense. And then, Chargers, Bears, Packers, Raiders. And after that Raiders game, it sort of resorted back to more of a Bruce-Arians style offense. And I think right now they're trying to find that right mix of what works and what doesn't. Obviously, they're learning the hard way of what works and what doesn't because, the Saints game, they just got beat. They just got dominated, whatever. I'm not even going to say that. But, the Rams, they had a shot. And they lost just because the offensive play calling, the execution, that's why they lost. It was, simple there, I think. They only lost by 3 points, and they had a chance to tie it or, score a touchdown. And it's not like there was 20 seconds left, and it was, yeah, but they probably weren't going to. They had a minute 45 left and one timeout. You had plenty of time.
Yeah.
It's definitely, I think, some of the media just kind of trying to spin it right now. Arians did defend Brady after he said that the first interception he got hit. That's what he said.
Oh, well, that doesn't get clicks.
No, because why would it? This is so everybody's hating on Arians for saying this stuff about Brady. But then everybody was hating on Arians last year when he was taking the blame and putting all the blame on the wide receivers for Winston's mistakes. So it doesn't seem like Arians could do no right. It's either if he blames the quarterback, it's on Arians. If he blames anybody else, it's on Arians. So I'm not sure what the narrative is trying to be. I think it's Tom Brady, and they're just trying to find something. If the Bucs, like I said, if the Bucs win that game, if Tom Brady marches down the field and doesn't throw the interception, and he throws a touchdown to Antonio Brown with 20 seconds left, the Bucs win the game. None of this happens. None of this is being talked about right now. I guarantee you. Brady didn't even play that good, right? And that final drive wouldn't erase that fact. But none of this is being talked about right now.
Yeah, and finding that middle ground that you had mentioned between, a Byron Leftwich offense, which if he's calling plays, let's just call it that. But, a Byron Leftwich offense and then a Tom Brady offense, where is that middle ground? Because I will say that Bruce's comments, when he came out and said that he's got Tom calling plays, I think we knew that Tom, definitely had a hand in what the offense can look like. I'm sure he's called plenty of audibles at the line. He's changed some things up. But, where do you think that middle ground is, and how far away do you think they are from finding it? Because if there's any week they really have to find it, it's of course got to be this week when you've got one of the highest powered offenses in the league coming in, and you're pretty much going to have to match them step for step. So What do you think that middle ground is, and when do we see it fully fledged, I guess?
Well, I think that middle ground has to be some sort of form of not trying to force the deep pass, but trying to set it up. I think the Bucs have done a poor job of setting up the deep ball. You, as an offensive game plan, you have to set certain things up. Everybody always wants to talk about setting up the run, setting up the pass, but you also have to set up the type of pass. Set up a screen, set up a long pass. That's what I think they need to work on. Right now, they're just forcing it down the field. It's consistently somebody's running vertical, and most likely the ball's going there. But I think that's what they need to work on, and that's the middle ground, I think. Trying to set up the deep pass rather than force it. Right now, they're forcing it.
Yeah.
And I think the run game, struggling. When the run game struggles, this team struggles. And I believe that they abandoned the run game way too early on Monday night, and I think that hopefully they'll learn from their mistakes. But in the Saints game, I didn't have a problem with it. I know they rushed for only 4 times or whatever, 5 times, but I didn't have a problem with that because by the time that the Bucs had gotten the ball back and without all the madness and stuff, it was already 21-0, and they had to pass whatever. But this game this was a tight game the entire time. It was a 1-score game for most of the game. Just run the football. It got predictable. You could tell that the Bucs were just trying to hit that deep ball, and they were close. A few times. Brady missed one. Antonio Brown had one off his fingertips, so they were close. But in the end, it's what cost them. So I think the middle ground right now is trying to find ways to set that up and set up the deep ball. Because if you set up the deep ball, that's how you're going to have more success.
Yeah.
And how do you set that up? I don't know. That's not my job. That's Byron Leftwich. That's Tom Brady. That's Brady-Arians. Those 3 guys. That's their job.
Yeah.
Their job is to figure that out. That's why they were brought here. So I think right now that's that middle ground of where you can see it. I mean, obviously, I think you need to see some of it this week. I don't think you're going to see a whole thing, but I mean, you're going to have to see it before the playoffs. I mean, because if you go into the playoff game trying to have the same game plan they had against the Rams, you're likely going to be one and done. So, on offense, do what got you this 7-4 record. In the 7 games, if you look at it, the Chargers game and the Broncos game and the Panthers game, I understand that it was early, and like I said, I really feel like the offense started to go to a more New England style at halftime of the Chargers game. I feel like maybe they simplified things. I don't know. But then, the Packers game, I think that's this team humming at its best, the Packers game.
Yeah.
The defense creating turnovers, getting constant pressure. And the defense got constant pressure there without Villa, which is even more impressive, as we're seeing is a real struggle for them. But this offense playing, turnover-free, running the football, being able to work off of that with play action, I think that's this offense at its best. What I think Bruce Arians wants the offense to be more like, though, is the one in Vegas. A couple deep shots, deep shot to Miller, deep shot to Gronk, a deep ball, a touchdown to Miller. So right now they're trying to find I think those are the 2 games. They're trying to blend those 2 games together. And if they do, this offense is going to be damn near unstoppable. But the fact of the matter is they haven't yet, and that's the issue right now. And you hope they do this week, but to me, if you're looking long term, you'd rather it be after the bye week and just have it ride out than just this 1 week. So we'll see what happens, but I think they're trying to blend 2 different styles in right now.
Now, I wanted to bring this up really quickly before we go into the injury report for this week. It's something that I've seen floated around, and I think it's more of a theory at this point, but I wanted to see if you thought it held any weight. But there's a lot of people pointing at the lack of success on the deep ball at one man on that offense, and it's number 81, Antonio Brown, who, really hasn't done a whole lot. He's had a couple of nice games. He was the leading receiver against the Rams, but ever since AB's come here, somebody else who's suffered and his snaps have gone away a little bit is Scotty Miller, and we know that one of Brady's favorite deep targets, and one that worked pretty damn well, to be frank, was Scotty Miller. We've seen less of him. You've seen I don't want to say less of, spreading the ball around, but I will say that this offense works its best when Brady is hitting all of his different receivers. I mean, any offense is going to work great when your quarterback's hitting all of his receivers, but do you think it's too soon to say that Antonio Brown inadvertently has been kind of a wrench in the chemistry of this offense to this point?
Yes and no, because you can tell Antonio Brown and Tom Brady have a trust and they have a chemistry already, I think. I know they really weren't with each other long in New England, which is why it's kind of surprising to me. I think you look at this in Carolina, Cameron Brate, 3 catches, Antonio Brown, 7 catches, Mike Evans, 6 catches, Leonard Fournette, 2, Chris Godwin, 6, Rob Gronkowski, 2, Ronald Jones, 1, Scotty Miller, 1, right? That's good. That is good in terms of just spreading the ball around. So you want to look at this week. Let's see. Well, Brady technically actually got a reception for that forward pass thing.
Yeah, I was curious. I think I had asked on the Monday show if it had counted as a technical reception, but that's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's 1 reception minus 9 yards. Yeah, it's funny.
Wow. I guess I've got more receiving yards than Brady this season. Look at that.
You do, yeah, we all do. He's got 1 more reception than you, but Cameron Brate, 3 catches, Antonio Brown, 8, Mike Evans, 5, Leonard Fournette, 1, Chris Godwin, 7, Rob Gronkowski, 2. So to me, that's not bad spreading the ball either. Your top 3 receivers had 8, 5, and 7.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not awful to me. Now, Byron Leftwich said today in his press conference that Scotty Miller hasn't been healthy, which has been a factor. And if you remember correctly, I think it might have been he was his hamstring that he was dealing with for a little bit there.
It was always listed as like a hip/groin injury, but he was popping up on the injury report every single week for quite a bit.
So I think that played a factor. And maybe they saw, hey, Antonio Brown's here now. We don't have to play Miller as much. And he said that Miller's pretty much getting back to full health. So I think you'll probably see Miller a little bit more involved. But, yeah, his role is going to be diminished. Yeah. Antonio Brown is better than Scotty Miller. I don't think anybody's arguing that. But as far as, the weird thing to me is the correlation with the deep ball. Because Brady's deep ball really took a hit after that Vegas game.
Yeah, ever since then, it's been
non-existent.
It's a shell of what it was the first 7 weeks of the season, and the numbers don't lie. It has been just awful.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, it has nothing to do with what many people think it does. Many people are going to tell you, oh, Brady just dinks and dunks, and he doesn't have the arm strength. This dude's got plenty of arm strength. This is why I think that realistically he'll be fine next year, still be able to play at a high level because his arm strength hasn't gone anywhere. He's overthrowing the guys, if anything. I mean, his arm strength hasn't gone anywhere. It's just his reading of the safeties is not where it used to be. His eyes haven't really been able to throw safeties off and get one-on-one coverage. And when he has one-on-one coverage, he just hasn't hit them. Some of it has to do with chemistry, but I mean, it seems like his best chemistry on a deep ball. If you look at all the long balls that he's thrown, I believe he's thrown 1 to Mike Evans, 1 deep ball to Mike Evans that was complete in the Chargers game. But the rest of them have been Scotty Miller. He threw one in New Orleans week 1. He threw one in Denver. He threw one against the Chargers. He threw 2 against the Raiders. All of them have been to Scotty Miller, and I think he really has chemistry down on the deep ball with Scotty Miller, and it seems like Scotty Miller alone. And it's something that, obviously, Chris Godwin is not really used as the vertical threat for this offense. But Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, Scotty Miller, they're going to be. So Brady has to be better on his deep ball. It's simple. And arm strength is not an issue. It's just timing, accuracy, and his reads. I think that's just things that need to be better.
Yeah. Now, one more guy in this offense I wanted to talk about quickly. We got some good stats from the guys in the live chat, Mr. Bucs Nation and our guy Robert from Outside Leverage. Each game, the Buccaneers have given Ronald Jones 20 or more carries. They're 3-0. When he has less than 20 carries, they're 4-4. And then Ronald Jones is also the only guy in the top 5 rushers in the league averaging less than 15 carries a game. So I think it's can't be overstated at this point. But I think another key to getting this offense rolling and early is to just give the ball to Ronald Jones. Don't throw him the ball because he doesn't do great things when you do that. But I really think feeding Ronald Jones needs to become more of an initiative because, like we saw against the Rams, they're just moving away from the run too quickly. Like, that was a game that, as good as the Rams have on or as good of a unit as they have on defense, I still think Rojo could have popped a couple of big ones. Definitely not 98 yards, but he could have gotten a little bit more productivity on Monday night. And, I think when he's having a good day, the rest of this offense eats that much more. And that's with any offense in the league, but this one in particular, so getting the ball to Ronald Jones and just getting him his carries every single week, you have to hope that that's going to be a bigger priority moving forward, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I did see in the chat that to let the offense start with Ronald Jones. I disagree with that, just because you've built your offense around this wide receiver core and this quarterback, and I think that's what it needs to start with. But I think you need to do a better job of sticking with the run when you can.
Really quickly, Robert, I'm going to agree to disagree. He says in the live chat he can catch most balls that are actually good throws to him. He can catch them, but he damn sure can't hang on to them. I mean, I love Ronald Jones just as much as anybody, dude, but I'm not going to sit here and pound the table saying he's a pass-catching running back because he is probably the worst one on the roster.
Yeah, well, and I mean, Leonard Fournette's right behind them. So.
I remember we were praising Leonard Fournette because we're like, oh, well, Ronald Jones has his struggles, and, Leonard Fournette is a guy who has experience, but these last few games, every look he gets hasn't looked great, so, one of them's going to have to step up, and I personally don't think Rojo is going to be the guy who plays a big part in that passing offense, and Brady loves to dump to his running back, so I guess we'll just have to kind of grin and bear it, because I'm sure we'll see it a lot next week.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna have to stick with it this season. I think he's gonna have to put up with it. I know a pass catching running back will be a priority for them in the offseason, like adding like a pure one.
They've got two on the sidelines.
Well, one on the sidelines and one in the press box because you just want to throw away third round picks, I guess. But I think that Ronald Jones, to me, this offense has just been built around the quarterback and his receivers. It's not built to, their run scheme sucks. Okay, their run scheme sucks. Their offensive line is not built to be a run blocking team. This isn't the Tennessee Titans. I think that Ronald Jones is a talented running back. And I think, they got to stick with him more, especially, I saw in the group chat, they said that, once the Bucs are down one score, they seem to really abandon the run if it's not really working. And I sort of agree with that. They were getting small gains, and I feel like they only really stick with the run when they're getting those chunks. And that's just not the way to go, because that's not the way to set up the run. You definitely have to keep a defense honest, and when Brady's throwing the ball 40 plus times, it's just not a recipe for success on most days. So I think, yes, I do think Ronald Jones needs to be way more involved, but I don't think the offense should start with him. He's just not. The offense to me has to start with guys that are like top 5 running backs in the league. Your Derrick Henrys, your Saquon Barkley's, Christian McCaffrey's. Ronald Jones is not a top 5 running back in the NFL.
I know you're going to piss some people off with that one.
Wait, for what?
I think he's top 5 in rushing right now, is he not?
That doesn't matter. Top 5 overall. Is he a better running back than Saquon Barkley?
No.
Okay, that's it. So that's what I'm saying. Overall. Not this season. I'm not talking. If you're just looking at rush yards, that's no.
All right.
No.
All right, we talk about the offense because, this is the weekly game preview show, and we try to break down everything the Bucs are going to need to do to have success. And the offense is going to be, they're going to need to be firing on all cylinders this week because they're going to have to keep pace with one of the highest powered offenses in the NFL with Pat Mahomes and, his arsenal of weapons that he's got over there in Kansas City. But really quickly, before we preview the rest of this game, let's get into the injury report. And before we actually get into the injury report, since I love getting ahead of myself, I just want to remind everybody that the hotline is open, 813-433-0323. Once again, that is 813-433-0323. 0323. You can give us a call. We're going to answer a couple of questions about the game this Sunday. So if you want to call in, the line is open. But until then, let's go over this injury report. You got a couple of question marks on there, specifically on the offensive line, but we'll talk to those when we get to it. Let's start it. On the Buccaneers side of the ball, you got cornerback Jamel Dean in concussion protocol. He did not participate today or yesterday. Next up, wide receiver Chris Godwin with that finger, full participation, so he should be good to go for Sunday. Tight end Tanner Hudson, not injury-related, did not participate. He probably won't be playing this week, and it's unfortunate because you didn't see the news. Tanner Hudson recently lost his dad, and that's kind of the reason he's been away from the team. It really is sad circumstances for Tanner, but hopefully he will be back soon and ready to contribute.
Well, actually, I believe he's actually back, but he needs to pass COVID test because he left the team.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. But hopefully we'll see him back next week. Probably not for this Sunday's contest, though. Next up, here is the biggest one on the list. Left guard Ali Marpet, concussion protocol, full participation. He practiced yesterday, practiced today, still trying to clear concussion protocol, but how do you feel about Marpet's status for Sunday? Because missing 3 games with a concussion is already concerning concerning enough. But, I hate to say it, but I really think he comes back this week. Dare I say it?
I don't. I mean, it's Thursday, and he still apparently has not passed concussion protocol yet. I mean, he needs to pass the protocol. He can practice full participation all he wants. He needs to pass that protocol, and until he does, it's just I don't know. He was a full participant last week for a few practices as well, and then got limited.
Yeah.
I don't think he plays, and I think the Bucs look at this as, hey, it's one game. Yeah, it sucks that it's going to be Joe Haig at left guard because you're going to have to slide Ryan Jensen back to center.
Yeah.
He's obviously with A.Q. Shipley's unfortunate situation, but. You're going to have to slide Ryan Jensen back to center, so it's going to be Joe Haig at left guard, and you just hope you can survive. Honestly, Joe Haig was that might be one of the worst films that I've seen offensive line put out in a long time, his film versus New Orleans. But I think they look at it as it's one game, and then it's the bye week. So why rush Ali back? Like I said, he's a full participant in practice, but Arians has said he hasn't passed the protocol yet. It's very strange, and you're starting to get concerned maybe for his long-term health, because obviously at practice you're not making contact really. Practices, especially practices in training camp, are pretty light. Practices during the season are even lighter because you don't want a guy going down in practice when you're preparing for another team. Yeah. So practices during the season are not. A lot of it's a lot of walkthroughs and stuff. You're not doing a ton of different things and a ton of contact. So. Yeah, he can be a full participant, but until he passes that concussion protocol, it's a concern. But there's another offensive lineman on there who didn't participate today, and if they're without him and Ali Marpet, Tom Brady might not make it out of this game.
Yeah, that is number 76 left tackle Donovan Smith, who went down with an ankle injury in the game against the Rams, came back and played the rest of the game, but he's been
ankle injury on the very first play of the game, mind you.
Yeah, he played the rest of that game, so hats off to Donovan, but he's been in a boot all week. Didn't practice yesterday, didn't practice today, so just like Evan brought up, that's a really, really big question mark along that offensive line.
Left side of the line could be Josh Wells and Joe Haig.
Oh, man, good God, let's hope not. I feel a little bit worse about Donovan Smith's status for Sunday. I had kind of said I'm in the hopeful group of Ali Marpet. I really do. I think the entire fan base hopes that he plays, but going without Donovan Smith is going to be tough, and I really think at this point you can kind of just look at the writing on the wall and say that he's not going to be dressing on Sunday.
Man. Arians seemed like I'm more optimistic than I am going to be because he's just Donovan was in a walking boot, but he's a warrior. And I think Donovan is going to try. This dude doesn't really miss starts. And he just, I know a lot of people think that, I know a lot of people think, oh, he sucks just because he doesn't miss starts, whatever. Yeah, but that's a valuable asset that he doesn't miss starts.
Yeah.
So I think that I doubt he plays. But Arians sure seems like he it's a possibility. So if he doesn't and Marpet doesn't, I mean, man, I know in the group chat they said Aaron Stinney may get the start over Joe Haig. I'd probably try it and see how it goes. But, I mean, Josh Wells would be your left tackle, most likely. Haig can slide to tackle, which I'm not sure. I think he has more experience at tackle, so maybe he's a better left tackle than a guard.
And correct me if I'm wrong too. He's got a little bit of experience this season playing like left tackle technically, because they kind of added him as an extra blocker next to Donovan a couple times,
extra
right?
Guy. Yeah. He's been that extra guy when they go into that formation, the personnel. So he does have a little bit of experience there. But yeah, I mean, if you're going into that game down 2 of your starting linemen and then down like one of your better reserves, man, it might be a good thing because it might force them to take less deep shots and you work the quick passing game, which they did for the first half against LA and then completely abandoned. So
yeah. Let's wrap up this injury report. Outside linebacker Jason Pierre-Paul with a knee injury was limited. He'll be fine and good to go. And then you got cornerback Ryan Smith, who returned to practice, ankle injury, full participation today. I don't know if he was limited yesterday. I think that's the case, but him being full participation today was a new development. Over on the Chiefs side of things, let's take a look at their injury report really quickly. Tackle Eric Fisher, ankle shoulder, full participation. Linebacker Willie Gay with a shoulder, he was full participation. Tight end Travis Kelce with a pectoral injury, full participation. We're actually going to answer this call really quickly at a 239. Let's do it. Missed call. Are you still there? Cannon Fire Podcast, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hi there. I'm calling from Fort Myers, Florida. My name's Neil.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, good. Yes, happy Thanksgiving to you guys as well. Hopefully you guys are full and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I got a quick question, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, hey, so there's been some rumors going around that Arians and Brady have had some, tension going on. I mean, one, first, do you believe in all those rumors that there's tension going on? And two, if you do say yes, then do you feel as if it's, more Brady wanting control? Maybe he's not, getting to run the offense maybe as much as he wants to. Maybe it's Leftwich calling the plays he's just getting frustrated with. Or do you think it's Arians maybe just getting frustrated? Brady maybe, honestly, he tried to, Arians just kind of said, hey, Brady, we're going to give you everything you asked for. And, we're still not, I hate to say not winning games because they are, but, they're probably not getting exactly what they want to see. So, that's my question. Yeah.
We actually kind of started off the show with this topic, but, just for the case of answering it once more, I personally don't believe it. I think a lot of it is, the media taking a little bit of a quote and running with it. Because the quote that came out from Arians that I've seen kind of attached to this rumor was Arians had said that, they have Tom calling a lot of his own plays already, picking his own on the sidelines from the game plan. He said, I don't think it's a confidence problem. I think it's, it's not a lack of trust. It's a lack of continuity within the offense. And I think, the biggest thing to come out of this for both parties here, Arians and, Tom Brady, is just finding middle ground, finding where, Tom can comfortably call his plays, but if Byron wants to throw in a deep shot, they can just kind of make it happen seamlessly. But, that's kind of my 2 cents. Evan, your thoughts once again.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just more of a, not really a tension, just more of a trying to figure out what works. I think you do bring up a good point, Neil, that, maybe Arians is bringing up to Brady that, he got him Rob Gronkowski. He got him Leonard Fournette. He got him Antonio Brown. And, they drafted him a starting right tackle. And they tried to draft him a running back in the 3rd round. They signed LaShawn McCoy. So, yeah, they're giving Brady all these things. And yet Brady still isn't he's been a top 10 quarterback in the NFL this year, in my opinion. So I don't want to say playing bad, but in these big games hasn't shown up the way they want them to. They brought him to Tampa to go down the field against the Rams and win that football game, not throw a game-ending interception. So I think you bring up a good point there that maybe Arians, that is something that he's bringing up to him, and maybe that's the reported tension. But as far as like a real problem, I don't see it. Thanks for the call, appreciate it, and I really don't see a huge issue there.
Yeah, hey, no, appreciate it, guys. Thanks for all you do.
Hey, thanks, Neil.
Thanks.
Appreciate you, brother. Have a good, happy Thanksgiving. 813-433-0323 is the number to call. We'll probably take a handful more calls throughout the rest of this episode, but actually, we got another call from the 978. Let's do it.
Coming in.
Can of Fire Podcast, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hey guys, it's Rocco from Boston. Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, what's going on, Rocco? How you doing, boss man?
What's up, my man? I got a question for you and Evan, and then I'm gonna head out. But I was wondering, for this upcoming game against the Chiefs, who do you think has the defense that is better equipped to face the opposing team's offense? Like both defenses have been shaky. And obviously, both offenses are pretty fantastic. So I was just wondering what you guys think about that.
Evan, I'll let you take this one.
Oh, that's actually a really good question, Rocco. Man, because I feel like it could be the Bucs, but it's only if the Bucs actually go out and play their type of game on defense, and that's sort of a press man, blitzing type team. If they come out and start playing zone like they have been, I think you got to give it to the Chiefs. So I'll give the slight edge to the Chiefs. Slight, very slight. I think it's close, but I think the Chiefs are better equipped to stop the Bucs offense, especially if the Bucs offense is down a couple linemen. The Bucs defense is probably going to be down Jamel Dean, so I think I have to give the slight edge to the Chiefs, but I do think it's close, and it's a pretty good question.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I think a really big piece of this defense, just kind of looking at the Bucs and the game plan here. You got two really big pieces of that offense that I look at. I think Tyreek Hill is a guy that could give us trouble all afternoon, and I think, of course, Travis Kelce is a guy who could give us trouble, because the Bucs have a history of not matching up well with tight ends. So I think when I look at how they're planning to try and neutralize that, I think Levante David is your best bet at trying to slow down Travis Kelce. Devin White's just too much of a liability in coverage at this point. But yeah, I guess, kind of like what Evan said, I'll piggyback off of his point, but it just depends on what brand of defense they want to show up and play. If they're able to effectively blitz, and even if they're not getting home every single time, if you can try your damnedest to pressure Patrick Mahomes, you might not always force him to make a mistake, but it's what we've seen this defense do before with quarterbacks that don't make mistakes very often. So if they can find, their middle ground, which we kind of just talked about with the offense, but if they can come out with a pretty good game plan, play their brand of defense, and cause some disruptions, then I'd like to say the Bucs as well. But it just, it is one of those games where you're going to be looking at the offense all afternoon, because I think there's going to be plenty of points on the board. It's going to be, these guys are going to try and stay neck and neck with each other. So it could be a really good game. But yeah, great question, Rocco. Appreciate you calling in as always, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Oh, one last question. My bad.
No, you're good.
This is from Mr. Bucs Nation himself. He said, "What's the best Thanksgiving side?" All right, I'm gonna head out now, though.
I didn't hear it. Say it one more time. I don't know if he already left. What did he say, Evan? He said, "What's the best what?"
I think bank giving site. I don't know.
Bet. Oh, the best bet giving site, maybe. He might be talking about our friends over at betonline.ag, if that's what I thought I heard. But bank giving.
Man,
site,
why is?
I mean,
is this like roast Evan day? What?
Oh, dude, I'm not even looking at the live chat. I was looking at my notes.
What is this?
Are they grilling you? Are they grilling you?
I think I can actually see Evan dying inside. James, you have no room to talk, so let's not even start that. Our boy Rocco, Evan is pain. Evan, I do not smoke. Evan looks like he had no ham and turkey on the table. I had too much turkey on the table.
No.
Evan looks like he's holding a burp. That's not true.
We get a call from the 916. I'm going to get on here real quick. I don't know. This is the roast of the Philly Bucs fan tonight. But Can of Fire Podcast, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hi, my name is Madanch Koka, and I'm from Cali.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good. I hope you guys are having a great Thanksgiving.
You as well, brother. Thank you.
And by the way, the question the last person asked before I asked mine was, what's your favorite Thanksgiving side?
Oh, thank you for clearing that up because I felt like an idiot.
I said banking site. Oh god,
yeah, I was thinking bet site. I'll tell you this, dude. Mine. I hate to be a chump here and just say mashed potatoes, but it's really going to come down to mashed potatoes or like I love some good stuffing. I'll tell you, dude. I don't care what homemade stuffing you bring to the table. Stovetop is all you need at the end of the day. But I'm a big stuffing guy. I kind of like mixing my stuffing and mashed potatoes, get the gravy going, a little bit of mac and cheese in that bitch. Oh, man. I'm so full. My stomach hurts, but I'm just thinking about going to get a plate of leftovers right now.
I'll just go the homemade mac and cheese. When you can get that sort of crusty top on the mac and cheese, I don't know if there's much better than that. So I'll go with good old homemade mac and cheese. It's simple.
There we go. So what's your question, boss man?
So my question was just about, so you talked about this. It was like the play calling. I just had a question about both defensively and offensively, how crucial that will be, because especially defensively, we have Todd Bowles, and Todd Bowles is like he runs a lot of blitzes. But how do you think they changed their defense a little bit because of how successful Patrick Mahomes is against the blitz? Or
I think it's a good point. This is why I don't want to be a defensive coordinator, because when you're going up against a guy like Mahomes and the entire Chiefs offense, there's so many things you have to account for, and there's just so little I think you can do. I think that you got to be careful when you blitz. But I also think the way to beat Mahomes is you're going to have to get pressure in his face. So you're going to have to blitz. I think you're going to have to live by the blitz, die by the blitz in this type of game. And you maybe get burned a few times, but hopefully your offense can carry it a little bit and your defense can just get a few stops here and there. I think that's got to be the plan. Because I think if you let Mahomes sit back all day, if you're rushing 4 or 3 and just trying to play coverage and you let Mahomes sit back all day, he's going to find a man. There's just too many weapons, and the offensive scheme is just too good that I think that's almost coaching suicide, I think, if you let him just sit back there. So I think you got to get pressure in his face. But you're right. I mean, he is very good against the blitz. He's it's incredible some of the things that he's doing on a consistent basis.
All right, boss man, we appreciate your call. We got a couple of other people lined up, so we're going to have to drop you here. But thank you so much for calling in, and happy Thanksgiving, my friend. Go Bucs.
Hey, guys. Go Bucs. Have a good rest of your day.
Absolutely. Was there feedback for anybody else? If you're watching the live stream on YouTube, I can only hear the audio in my headphones, but I kind of got a weird feedback. So if you hear anything, definitely let me know. What'd you say, Evan?
Rhett out here hating on my mom's stuffing. Why you gotta do that, man?
I'm not hating on anybody's stuffing, but
why you gotta hate? Why you gotta hate on
top?
Why you gotta hate on Bree's stuffing?
Oh man, I'm not hating on any.
Or Bree's mom's stuff, I should say. Sorry,
I'm not a hater. All right, let's get into a little bit more of this game preview. I wanted to talk about the defense, Evan, and I had kind of brought up Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce seem like pretty obvious targets, but what are some other matchups you're looking at, and what do you think has to be the top priority for the defense headed into Sunday?
Don't die.
Yeah, you think they should pull out the Donovan Smith game plan from a little while ago and just not show up? Just can't get blamed for any mistakes if you don't show up.
That was the week 2. Yeah, that was the week 2. Yeah. What can Donovan Smith do? Just don't come. Yeah. Oh man, this Chiefs. You thought the Packers were on a roll? Listen, the Chiefs are incredible. Okay, their offensive scheme is elite, and you know what? Not only is their scheme elite, the players they got in it are elite. Like, I mean, they're just, oh man, it's really. I don't know how a defensive coordinator can look at this and actually come up with a plan to stop it. I really don't.
You just have to adapt and react after so long.
even in their loss, they scored 32 points in their loss. Like, dude.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, they're just incredible, okay? And I don't know. I don't know how in the world you're going to be able to stop this offense. Talking about matchups, man. I mean, it's going to have to be the Bucs linebackers against Kansas City running backs because Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Le'Veon Bell, they like to get them involved in the passing game.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I forgot they got Le'Veon now, but yeah.
Yeah. So they like to get them involved in the passing game. They really like the screen game, which the Bucs have struggled with. I would expect the Chiefs to use some tempo because the Rams really used it well, and it seems like it works. So the Chiefs just do so many good things. And I mean, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Mecole Hardman. I think Sammy Watkins might still be an IR. I'm not sure though. Actually, I think
no. I think he's expected to come back this week.
Yeah. Well, of course he is.
Yeah, right. What a week.
So, I mean, it's just they're stacked. I don't know. And without Jamel Dean, it makes it tougher. He's now Ross Cockrell is going to have to play.
Which, by the way,
I don't hate him,
but he did have a couple of plays on Monday night that turned my head.
Yeah, I don't hate him. But I just don't know. I wish I had a better answer for you. I really do. But the fact is, they are just so good, and they're on another level that no other NFL team is on right now. There's no other NFL team that's on the level of them. And I mean, the Bucs are going to have to play a fantastic game. And the thing is that the defense can give up points because I think the Chiefs are going to surrender points. And the Chiefs lost. Like I said, they scored 32 points and they lost.
Yeah.
Like, the Raiders scored 40. The Chiefs last week allowed 31. The week before that allowed 31. So, I mean, there's opportunities there that they're going to be able to score points. And I think the Bucs offense is going to have to score points. They're going to have to score 30 points, over 30 points if they want to win. Yeah. If you don't score over 30 points, you ain't winning this game. You're not. I'm going to tell you that right now because the Chiefs are scoring 30. That's a lock to me. Yeah. Especially with a Tampa defense that's going to likely be down. Jamel Dean is already obviously down Vita Vea. I think it's a lock. I really do. And Sean Murphy-Bunting's been struggling. They can't really seem to get a pass rush without sending everybody, and it's a lock that the Chiefs are going to get 30 points. So I think it's up to the offense, honestly. I think that's what should be talked about more. I think you should expect a shootout. Maybe not like Rams last year, like 55-40, not like that. Or even like the Chiefs-Rams game from a few years ago.
Yeah.
But I think, you got to expect both teams to be in the 30s, I think, at least.
That's what I've got on my score prediction. But before we get into that, I want to throw out the phone number one more time, guys. 813-433-0323 is the hotline number.
It's a big point there. You got to win the turnover battle.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes has 2 interceptions this year, which both of them came against the Raiders. So if your name's not Las Vegas, you don't pick Patrick Mahomes off. So I think that's a big thing. He's not going to put the ball in harm's way, and you're gonna play clean football, and you're gonna have to force a turnover or two and capitalize on it. The Bucs obviously they that Jason Pierre-Paul interception they had resulted in points. It was only 3. Needs to be 6. 6, sorry. It needs to be 6. For some reason I guess
representation side of it.
Well, I mean, I got to give the people something.
There you go.
But I guess I thought I had 6 fingers.
You looked like you had a JPP hand there with your green screen glitching out behind you. It looked like you only had a couple of fingers.
I had my pinky down so I can bring it up, and then I don't know.
Let's take this call out of the 916 really quickly. CFP, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
My name is Justin. I'm in California.
Hey, Justin out of Cali. What's going on, brother?
What's going on? Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving to you too.
Thanksgiving. Awesome. I hope you're stuffed and can't even move.
Barely.
Anyway, my whole thing I think I want to call about is just the frustration I'm having about the media and the whole thing about Tom Brady.
Yeah.
It's really getting on my nerves. I really think it's unfair. It's kind of like the Brady bunch. It's just Marcia. It's just Brady. And this guy is elite. He's still on a level I don't think anybody at that age will ever play ever again. Very, very rarely, maybe sometime. It's probably never going to happen. But the fact that there was no preseason for this guy, and everybody on this team and everybody in the league pretty much, and this guy's coming into a new offensive scheme that he's never seen in his career. The 20-plus years or whatever with New England, I mean, give this guy a break. I mean, I think I'm getting really tired of basically just hearing everybody in the media and the NFL Network and ESPN, places like that, just talk about Brady and just, if he doesn't live up to what they believe his standard should be at his age, that, he's just garbage and junk and he no longer has the arm, he no longer can throw the deep ball, this and that, and just basically just, one event, give this guy a chance. I would say basically, next season for sure, I think they'll start clicking. I think, this guy goes another season or two with Tampa, you watch. I just really have a good feeling that he'll really start to click with that offense, especially, I pray, hopefully, by next season they get that preseason and a lot more time to practice together and get things down and working. So,
absolutely.
I want to see what you guys felt of.
I think you bring up a good point, and sorry to jump on that, Rhett.
No, you're good, man. Go ahead.
You bring up a good point about, not having a preseason. And I mean, I think it was an excuse really like heavily in the first few weeks. And now it's a little bit less of one because, I mean, they are professionals and they have had, some time, but it's still valid. This guy, like you said, it's 20 years in the same system coming in with all this madness going on. And just hopefully they get a preseason next year. Justin, I did want to shout out, though, your voice is elite.
Dude!
It sounds like a movie trailer voice. I know.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it sounds like you should be like narrating action movies, man.
I've actually thought about getting to podcasting here recently.
Yeah,
and I love the Bucs. I lived in Clearwater for a few years, probably back when Dungy first took over the team in '96, and that's really when I kind of jumped on board and got really excited for him. And still got my Mike Allstott jersey. Love to hear that Allstott chant on the beginning of your guys' podcast. I love Allstott. So,
he's definitely my friend. Dude, you can make a podcast of like cupcake recipes, and I would listen to it. I do not care. It is one of those voices that I definitely wish that I had. But I did want to say, kind of regarding your question in the media, another thing as well is, you turn on these sports shows and you hear people talk about Brady like this team isn't 7-4. And I mean, 7-4 doesn't match the expectations that were pitted at the beginning of the season, but all of the factors that you had mentioned, his first year in a new system, finding chemistry on this offense, and the fact that, let's not forget that 5-game stretch where he threw 17 touchdowns to 1 interception, 200 straight passes without a turnover. Like there's a lot of factors that go into this. And Evan said it best on our Monday show. You got to crawl before you can walk. And that's just what it is.
Exactly. And it's funny how they won't even bring that up. It's just all this negative garbage about Brady constantly and what he's not doing. And you're absolutely right. 100%. I've been seeing that. And this guy is playing on a level for a team. I don't think anybody can come into a new system like that, like I said before, after 20 years with the same program, winning those many rings of championships and going to that many playoff appearances and having, being so used and acclimated to that program and Bill Belichick coming in here for the very first season without a preseason and doing what he's doing at his age.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I did
want to go ahead.
Give him credit for one more thing as well. I remember we said this all last season with Jameis Winston, which turned into 30 interceptions, but it's been said a lot that the first year in Bruce-Arians offense, you're going to get a little bit more interceptions than you normally would. And for a guy like Brady, it just kind of drives the point home more that coming into a fresh system, but coming into a Bruce Arians offense, he's going to be asked to air it out every now and again. It's, what you've come to expect, but you have to give him respect because at this point in the season, he still has less than 10 interceptions. So it's,
I know. And where were we at this? Yeah. Where were we at this point last season with Jameis Winston? Exactly. Exactly. The pages, was flipped. It was exact opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. So Justin, we got to have this voice on the podcast, man. So DM me.
I would love to do that.
DM me at Bucs_Daily or DM the show on Instagram at Campfire Podcast. We gotta get you on here.
Yeah, I'm actually doing it on YouTube. So if there's anything you can give me, I'd be greatly appreciated. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
man.
Okay. Yeah,
we'll have to get in touch.
So let me get a pen. Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, if you wouldn't mind shooting me an email, you could do that.
Okay. What's your email?
It's Scott Justin, so SCOTT.
Okay.
Justin at 0039, so Scott Justin 0039.
Gotcha.
At Gmail.
Gotcha. All right. I don't know how many people in the live chat are going to be sending you emails, but I've got it written down. I'm glad everybody could witness that exchange of credentials here.
That's fine. Yes, definitely.
Hey, well, we definitely appreciate you calling in, boss man.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. Everything you guys do. Keep up the great work, and I love you guys. Always make me feel a little bit better after a loss, especially the one against the Rams, which, stung a little bit because I thought we kind of had them for a bit there. So
yeah. Hey, well, we appreciate you a lot, man. It's what we're here to do, and we are incredibly grateful to have you listening all the way out there on the West Coast.
Thank you so much, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. See you, man. Oh, dude, that was great. Look,
that was awesome.
We got a whole guest for the show. So, all right, guys, next episode of Can Fire Podcast, we'll have Justin on with us from Cali. That'll be great.
We're not going to talk a single bit.
Yeah, we're just going to let him take over the entire episode. Oh, I need to hear that voice on the high definition. I hope he has a nice mic setup. We get him on Skype and he's just coming in loud and clear. Shout out to the live chat as well. I see a bunch of our guys in there having a great time. So this has been fun. This has really been one of the more fun live streams that we have done.
Yeah,
I'm glad we can make
the funny thing is, for the first 30 minutes of this sucked.
What? No, it didn't.
Well, as far as getting calls and stuff.
Okay, yeah, sure. Maybe I just didn't float the phone number. I didn't put the phone number on the screen this time because it seems like whenever I do that, it's just ringing off the hook.
I feel like people are just already asleep now. They're just their stuff.
That Thanksgiving turkey hits you. Yeah. There's no night game. There's no night game to stay up for. So I mean,
there's nothing. Yeah. I mean, I think, that Justin, man, it's oh, God.
So we're going to take one more call out of the 978 right here. Hold on. Hold that thought, Evan. Oh, what happened? Hold on. They're both in there. Let me see if I can join back into this call. You guys are getting a look at all the great stuff. I don't know if we got the caller on the line, but Cannon Fire Podcast, if you can hear me, what's your name? Where are you calling in from? Nothing? Nope. No, I guess we lost him. I don't know what happened there. Everybody witnessed it in real action, in real time on the live stream, but I'll tell you what. There it is. See if we can get him back in here. Cannon Fire Podcast, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Oh, it's Rocco. I had to call back. That was awesome. Okay? that was awesome. I'm in my car. I'm sorry I hung up earlier, a little early.
Are you good?
I'm in my car driving, Thanksgiving, all that. But oh my goodness, I'm just listening to it on my car stereo, and I hear this guy's voice, and I was like, "There's no way."
Oh, dude, I have to imagine your car stereo, the bass was booming real good whenever you talk.
I thought it was an ad. I thought an ad popped up in the middle of your live stream.
Oh, that was awesome. That's awesome, Rocco.
To finish that off, I need to know now what's the favorite Thanksgiving dessert. Okay.
Oh, dessert? Damn.
Yes.
Are there any, aside from, I guess, cranberries, which I wouldn't even classify as a dessert, are there any well, you got your pie,
pumpkin
I guess.
Pie.
Apple pie, pumpkin pie. You know what? People are going to chastise me for this, but I'm not a big pie person. I like chocolate pie.
Either. I'm not
I like
either.
chocolate pie. The French vanilla pie from Village Inn is pretty kick-ass. An Oreo pie I'll go in on. But I will, you know what? I'll say this. The dessert that I had tonight is always a blessing. It is always just a great time. And it is this homemade brownie cheesecake that my girlfriend's mom makes. And dude, it is like a cream cheese frosting cheesecake deal. And the crust is just thick brownie, and it's it is incredible. So I had some of that tonight, and I'm looking forward to the next time I have it, whenever that will be. But that's probably my number one. Evan, what's yours?
Honestly, I'm not a huge I like desserts, but I'm not a huge different desserts kind of guy. I do just like some typical vanilla ice cream, but if I had to give a actual one that's like not so basic. I mean, I don't know if you can serve these at Thanksgiving, but sometimes we do. This year we didn't, but like it's just a made from scratch brownie. is just very, very good. Just like a made from scratch, like not store bought. Just you made it from scratch. You got it in the container, and you can just taste like all the goodness. You cut it into the squares. Man, so good. So sorry I couldn't give you a more huge answer there. But Rocco, I want to know what is yours?
Mine. All right, I'm going to represent the pie lovers out there, and I'm just going to go with the traditional pumpkin pie. Nothing beats it on Thanksgiving. Absolutely nothing.
There you go.
Alamo.
Get you some Cool Whip. Just get gnarly in it. Rocco, it was good to hear from you, my friend. This has been a really fun live stream, and I'm glad we got to hear from you tonight.
Have a good one, boys.
Hey, absolutely. Happy Thanksgiving, my man.
You too.
All right, guys, we're going to take one more call. Then we're going to do the weekly checklist, and I think we're going to break this thing down. I
think we know who this call is going to be.
I hope. I mean, there's a 50-50 shot because I did kind of just put the number in the live chat, so whoever calls in first. Here we go. Got a call from the 727. This looks promising. I think it's our guy. Cannon Fire Podcast. What is your name? Where are you calling in from?
This is a great moment of history. There are so many great things that have been going on in this chat.
What's going on, guys? Stream. James here.
You know him.
Sorry,
you love him.
I just need a moment to soak all of this in. Oh my gosh. Boys,
it's been a fun stream so far, right?
What?
It's been a fun stream so far, am I right?
Right, dude? Oh my gosh. Like, holy crap, boys. Okay. Genuine thing here, right? Okay. All memes aside, all jokes aside. Okay, so I did look it up. So Reynolds did say that Aaron Stinney would start at left guard, and then Jensen moved back to center if Marpet can't go, right?
Yeah.
Good.
So, obviously earlier we talked about, Marpet being out and Donovan Smith being out. I want you guys to go a little bit deeper into that, man. Like, how much would you cry seeing Josh Wells starting at left tackle and seeing Aaron Stinney? Well, I mean, I kind of like Aaron Stinney, but seeing Josh Wells start at left tackle, I want you guys to delve in a little bit deeper into how that could affect the game.
I think that's the worst question you could have possibly asked us because the thought of Josh Wells having to start.
I don't even. I think get one phone call.
You get one phone call and you almost ruined it. You're lucky I didn't kick you off here, but I think the thought of Josh Wells playing left tackle is something I don't want to dive deeper into. But no, I mean, like Evan said, and I'm just messing with you, James, but like Evan said, man, if you get to that point, which fingers crossed we don't, I just really think it's going to be a rough afternoon for Brady. Like, no, KC, their front four is not what LA has, but they still have a pretty stout defense. I mean, I think that's a fair assessment there. But if you're looking at Josh Wells at left tackle, a guy who has proven rep after rep that he's just not very good at football, I think we're going to be in for a long afternoon.
Okay. So yeah, I agree that like their defensive line is just not on the same level with the Rams and Saints even. So I don't think that, you're going to even have to really, you're not going to have to play an elite level game. So if you're Josh Wells, just don't screw up a lot, I think that's what you have to do.
You think he finishes with less or more holding calls than Donovan Smith would have?
Well, more.
Oh,
yeah,
more.
Way more.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more. It's 100% more. Yeah, I think that like I said, the Chiefs' defensive line, their biggest issue this year has been getting consistent pressure, and maybe they do have the perfect storm here with the Bucs, being out some guys, but I don't know. Josh Wells, like you said, it's not that great. And maybe if Josh Wells struggles, they'd probably put Joe Haig there, probably, because like we said that he does have some experience playing there. But I don't know. It's interesting. The good news, though, is that the Chiefs' defense, if there's, the biggest weakness is that their pass rushers can't get home consistently enough. So I do think that that's the one advantage that the Bucs have. It's the one silver lining that the Bucs could have in potentially being without Donovan Smith and Ali Marpet. So
Beautiful. Thank you, boys. Also, when are we getting is it King of the Wing? Is that what we've dubbed it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, King of the Wing, your champion, your 2020 King of the Wing in the flesh right here in the webcam on the left. Yes, the winner is myself. I just wanted to remind everybody.
I'm pushing for a King of the Wing round 2. I need y'all to get some prep time now, you know?
Yo.
So like I mean,
you don't think I'm going to be motivated?
I want to see an Evan Wanish redemption story where he just like has a training montage and then
that's right.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that is ace.
See, everybody's rooting for me. You're the heel, Rhett. Everybody wants me to win.
Oh, I don't give a damn. I was the favorite coming into the contest. Your own family voted for me.
I know they did.
I was asking Evans, like his sister, his dad, his mom had all like chosen me. And apparently the reaction from his mom, God bless her, she had seen the announcement of the King of the Wing thing, and then she asked Evan, she's like, "You challenged him?" Like, she was shocked. She was so worried for you, like you were about to go to war.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Relax.
I see even more so then. I need to see Evan prove the doubters wrong.
That's right.
And have that come back.
Round 2 will definitely not be the same time of year as round 1 is. I think we can speed it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be 365 days, but I would like round 2 to happen once we can get our hands on one of those custom-made belts. That way we have something to present the winner when I take it home the second time in a row.
Dude, that'd be sick.
Exactly. I'm looking right into the camera. I am going to win. I am not going to lose 2 in a row. I am like Tom Brady. I do not lose 2 games in a row. I don't.
Do I have permission to
Brady will this weekend, but I don't.
Do I have permission to clip that, Evan, and hold on to that?
Oh yeah.
Well, hang on to it.
Make a promo out of it if you want to make a promo.
Bro, I will, man. I'm gonna clip that, and then it's just gonna have epic music behind it, man.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be beautiful.
Oh, dude, I'm so looking forward to it. James, thank you so much for calling in, my friend. It was a pleasure as always hearing from you.
Thank you, boys. I'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
Happy Thanksgiving, boys. I'll see you in a bit.
Alrighty. Thank you, James, for calling in. You guys can go check out his content, Mr. Bucs Nation, right here on YouTube. But I know he's been hanging out in the live chat, so we do appreciate him for that. That's going to do it for the phone calls this evening. We're going to get into something we like to call the weekly.
Fun. I'll say that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Chat.
Really do appreciate you guys. Anybody who called in, anybody who's been in the live chat, we appreciate you guys a lot. And
look, this makes this more fun. Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if this is something that you guys want more and have a good time, we don't even have to really talk football sometimes,
we could just jump on here and talk favorite Thanksgiving foods and chicken wings.
Just like I said, just have Justin do different catchphrases from movies. That's all.
There we go.
Just have that. So, some person did ask, how do we call in? We're not taking any call,
preferably.
Yeah, with a phone. We got the number. Well, yeah, that's right. You didn't put the number up. So
yeah, I normally put the phone number up, but when I do that, it's just phone call after phone call after phone call. So I wanted tonight to be about the OGs, the people who know the number, or I guess just listen really well when I kind of float it out there.
I'll tell you what. Who is it? Michael. You tune in next time, right? We'll be doing this again soon. Especially with the bye week coming up, we have talked about maybe doing something like this again with the bye week. So, you just hang on, and we'll get you in there. We'll get you in there next time.
Absolutely, boss man. But, ladies and gentlemen, something that we do on every single game preview show is something called the weekly checklist. And basically, what it is, it's a list of 3 things the Bucs need to do if they have any hope at all of winning this game on Sunday. So let's get into it. First up on my checklist, don't go away from what works. We saw it happen during the Rams game, and it was so frustrating because you put up 14 points on the best defense in the NFL in the first half by short plays, quick passes, stuff that worked. And then all of a sudden you just tried to throw 17, 18 deep shots in the second half and, ultimately didn't work in your favor. But if something's working against Kansas City, they are not a team that you can just, let's try something new. Let's see if this works. Let's see if Tom can throw it 60 yards to Antonio Brown. But no, don't go away from what works. If it's working, continue to do it. That's how you keep control of this game and you play a clean brand of football. these two kind of go hand in hand, but the second up on the checklist, play to your strengths. We talked a lot about this defense in particular, and, Evan made a lot of great points, but one of them was you have big physical cornerbacks back there. Use them as such. Play man coverage. Don't be afraid to have Carlton Davis brush up, get some contact with somebody on the line of scrimmage, and disrupt that route just by a half a second or two, because it can lead to a key incompletion on 3rd and deep. Who the hell knows? But play to your strengths. Put your guys in positions to play to their strengths. I'm not a big fan of JPP and Shaq Barrett dropping back into coverage. Granted, JPP
the Ndamukong Suh dropped back into coverage a few times on Monday.
Yeah, it's a weird sight, and I'm not really sure why they do it. I mean, with JPP, 2 picks in 2 weeks, I guess, is saying something.
Yeah.
But
he should have had 3 because he should have picked off Breeze. He dropped the Breeze one.
Yeah, he did. He did have to make up for it. So he was calling his shots against the Rams. But what I'm trying to say,
he's like tied for second in the team lead.
I will say this, just as kind of a side note. I think JPP, with the season he's having, I know that he was up there in the odds of Defensive Player of the Year, but I think those interceptions really padded him out and helped a lot.
Yeah, well, and shout out to Alex Kappa, by the way, who
leading the Pro Bowl voting, I guess,
in the NFL, not the Bucs. The NFL, I don't know. I don't know. Good job, I guess. I don't know.
One last thing on the weekly checklist. Try your best. I have your best. Want to emphasize that. Try your best to pressure Pat Mahomes. What works with this defense, they play their best brand of football when they pressure quarterbacks and they make them uncomfortable. They live off of the blitz. Don't be scared to try and do that. If you want to disrupt him, do it any way you possibly can. Pat Mahomes is a guy who's going to extend the play in the pocket. He's going to get away with you from you moving his legs, but maybe, just maybe, if he doesn't scramble like a first down, which quarterbacks seem to do 9 times out of 10 when they get out of the pocket against the Bucs defense, maybe he'll make a mistake. You don't know, but I mean, the key to slowing down Pat Mahomes is the key to slowing down 99% of quarterbacks in the NFL. Just pressure the hell out of them and try your best, I guess. But I think you're going to hit home a couple of times if you find some continuity and you can find your rhythm on defense through the blitz. But that's my weekly checklist. Evan, do you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I think you pretty much hit on it good, but wanted to give a quick shout out. I may butcher this name, and for that, I apologize. But in the chat, Kemraj Singh, I believe Kemraj Singh. Sorry if I butchered that, but you bring up a good point, and it is exactly what I'm going to put. You said that, and this whole first down thing is ridiculous. Like, why waste so many first downs doing silly plays? They need to win first down. The Bucs offense has to gain more than 1 or 2 yards on first down.
Yeah.
Consistently. You need to stay ahead of the sticks. Excuse me. And right now, they're just not. They're trying to do too much, like he said, silly stuff, and just trying to run the ball too much on first down. And when it's not working, they're like I said, their first down offense, you might as well start it at 2nd and 10 because it's almost non-existent. So shout out to him in the chat. Sorry, like I said, if I butchered your name. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think, like you said, I think you hit the nail on the head. If they do, those 3 things, they're gonna have a really good chance of winning. We'll see what happens. It's I don't know. We'll see.
Definitely makes you anxious, but yeah, we'll definitely see what happens. I do think the Bucs have more of a fighting chance than people think they do. I think it'll be a good game. I really do think it'll be another good game like we saw against LA. Hopefully they just don't let it get away from them, just like we saw against LA. Score predictions, and then we're going to shut this thing down. We talked about it a little bit earlier.
My pronunciation was perfect. All right.
There you go. Got to give him some props.
He said I can call him Kem, though. So thank you a lot, Kem. Appreciate it.
There you go, man. Appreciate you guys in the live chat as well. But my final score prediction for this, I think it's a gimme that both teams are going to score 30 points. And I'll tell you what, this is something I don't do very often here on the show. I think I'm actually 7-4 with my predictions this year because I have picked Tampa Bay to win every single game, but that changes this week. Oh man, I think the Chiefs come up 35
goodness.
to 31. You're so giddy that I'm picking them to lose. What's the big deal here?
Because it never happens. This is like seeing a unicorn.
I know.
Oh my god! I mean,
Dude,
sucks,
it's got to be one game this season.
Yeah, I know.
What is your score prediction?
Well, I mean, it's not like you picked them to lose against like the Vikings or something. Because, I mean, it's a defending Super Bowl champs, and they're also 9-1 on the season. Okay,
they're a better team. They're a better team than Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh is at a cupcake schedule.
Yeah, exactly.
Last week they only faced off against the 1-9 Jaguars
and barely beat them until they pulled away until the end, and they needed the refs' help to beat the Cowboys as well. So, Pittsburgh's a good team, but Kansas City is the best team in the NFL, I think, and they'll probably go back to back this year. And there's a reason for that. So, obviously, you guys know who I'm picking. I am not picking the Bucs. You guys probably already knew that based on how I was talking in this podcast. It's weird. So, I'm going to say 35-30 Chiefs. So that was the score I've had in my head this whole week. And it just so happened that we were 1 point off. So you think the Bucs are going to score one more point than I think they're going to score. So I think it's pretty safe that both teams are going to be at least 30 points. Both these offenses are just next level. And, I mean, the defenses, while they have some talent on them, I just don't think they're going to keep up. So I do think Green Bay is the better team in the chat. Well, I mean, you can't be the better team and get blown out 38-10 by the Bucs, and then no, Packers are not better than the Chiefs now. So I just think that the Bucs, Brady will play well. Tom Brady does not have 2 bad games in a row.
Yeah,
but I think just they're good. The Chiefs are really good, and there's just sometimes you're playing an opponent that's just better. I'm sorry, like you are. Like sometimes you're just playing an opponent that is just better than you, and the Chiefs are better than the Bucs. It's just, I'm sorry. They're 9-1 and they've lost to the Raiders. And they almost lost to the Raiders again. But Patrick Mahomes is a freaking magician, and no lead is safe against Patrick Mahomes. I really think that. And I don't know. I know not many people are going to like our predictions, but I also think that many people don't expect the Bucs to win. It's sort of weird. A lot of people are already talking I still say they're 7-4, but I'm seeing people. Well, they're 7-5 on the year, so I'm like, okay, well they haven't played yet, so can we chill out a little bit? I'm bad, but I'm not that bad. They're so good, and it's a shame. Because I feel like if they were playing somebody else on their schedule, they may win. But, man, this is the toughest game on the Bucs schedule. I know they got throttled by the Saints, but, this is the best opponent on the Bucs schedule, and the Chiefs are going to win.
Yeah, I get it, man. But without a doubt, I think it will be a very entertaining game on Sunday. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's just about going to do it for this episode of the Cannon Fire Podcast. I want to thank every single person tuned in right now, live with us over on YouTube.
75 people.
You have made this the funnest live stream we have done in quite some time. Appreciate everybody calling in. I appreciate Justin and his smooth, silky, awesome voice. I'm going to be thinking about it in my dreams tonight.
You got to be thinking of a nickname or something like that. I don't know. Movie trailer Justin something.
We will brainstorm some stuff, and we'll talk to you guys a little bit more about it on Monday after the game. But thank you again. If you're watching us over on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and click that bell icon so you get notified whenever we do a live stream just like this, or we release regular episodes. We release weekly hype videos. New one's going to be dropping tomorrow, which I guess I should probably work on after this. We got a bunch of great stuff over there, so if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, everybody in the live chat. Thanks for everybody listening on our podcast outlets as well. This will be, I think it'll be archived by tomorrow, so tomorrow afternoon, this will be on our podcast outlets. So if you missed anything, you can listen to it tomorrow as well on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you download a pod, pretty much. Make sure you follow the show on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All of those are Cannon Fire Podcast. And it's the best place to go for updates on the show. And, of course, Buccaneer news as it happens. Speaking of Bucs news as it happens, you can follow my co-host, Mr. Evan Wanish, on Instagram at Bucs_daily. And you can find him on Twitter at EvanNFL. Last but not least, you can find myself on Instagram and Twitter at Rhettakus, RHETTAKUS. Thank you guys once again for calling in. We really do appreciate you. Looking forward to the game on Sunday. Win, lose, or draw, we'll be here to talk to you on Monday. Until then, I am Rhett Matthew, signing off for Evan Wanish. We'll talk to you next.